Many thanks for staying with us on the program. Now, according to International Organization for Migration, around 6.9 million people in DR Congo have been forced from their homes this year, with the majority fleeing due to instability caused by the 200-plus armed groups that are active in the east of the nation. Now, in recent developments, at least 26 people were killed by machetes when a militia group stormed the Masosi locality overnight on the 24th of October. Now, dozens of school staff have refused to return to class following the killing of 3 teachers during a jihadist attack last month. More than 100 schools in the Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern region of Beni have been closed for almost 2 weeks now amid this protest by teachers. Well, joining us to discuss this very disturbing situation, I have first Sammy Mwanza, Finance and Project Assistant at Impunity Watch DRC Goma. Thank you so much, Sammy, for joining us.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
It's a pleasure to have you join us as well. Also, we have Amani Lushule Josue, Public Affairs Analyst, Goma, North Kivu, DR Congo. Thank you so much, Amani, for joining us.
Thank you so much, and the pleasure is mine.
And last but not the least, we have another gentleman, Gedeon Baleke, political analyst in Toronto. Thank you, Gedeon, for your time with us on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a very devastating situation in DR Congo. Speaking of the activities of the armed groups attacking villages and communities, and as a result of that, some teachers were attacked as well, and a lot of them unfortunately lost their lives. Now, because of that, they have refused to resume school activities, leaving about 100 schools shut. And this obviously has affected the local community as well as the education system in the Democratic Republic of Congo. What would you say the government is doing to address this? Let me start with you, Sammy. What actions is the government taking to rectify the situation? Sammy Mwanza.
Yes, I'm here. And yes, the thing is that, as you know, the eastern party of the DRC is in big conflicts in these days. Even right now, there are in some villages where some fightings are taking place even right now. And even I can say about yesterday, the armed group called M23 attacked some electrical sources, so that some parts of Goma doesn't have electricity even right now as I speak with you. So the thing that the government is doing right now is trying to calm the situation, first by controlling the M23, as announced, I think yesterday or before yesterday, the engagement with between our national army with the UN mission of observation that we call MONUSCO here in DRC, is they are trying to control the M23 group so that they can progress, so that they can't come into Goma, even coming into Goma. So the situation about the teachers in the parts of our villages is that some of our villages is that the government doesn't even say it loudly because of the election. As you know, that we are in the elections period, so this can disturb them, can disturb their plannings for the elections. Even this can cause some people to not voting the actual government and going to the opposition candidates. So the government doesn't even speak about this, and also they are trying to control it so that this can't alarm people about what is taking place in these areas.
Okay, thanks for that, Sammy. Also, Gedeon, the government did mention that investigations are still ongoing, and that's an update that we've heard since the DR Congo conflicts began. Is there any progress with the investigation so far?
The government talked about investigation, and as usual, the government has been somehow ineffective when it comes to the protection of civilians, including the protection of kids who go to school to get education. But the overall conflict situation doesn't allow them to go to school. The numbers are alarming. 6.9 million based on the recent UN report of internally displaced people. And that's a huge number. It's one of the worst humanitarian catastrophe that has happened on the face of the earth. And yet we are experiencing it in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Many kids are left out of school because of the ongoing conflict. And I should mention clearly something that they usually talk about rebel groups in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But I don't think all these rebel groups are somehow proactive at the same moment. What we are experiencing now, especially in the North Kivu province and the Ituri province, is a form of aggression and terrorism. In the Ituri province, we have the ADF. The ADF, that is a terrorist organization that's conducting terrorist activities on the Ugandan territory. And those are the people terrorizing the population there. In the North Kivu, majorly we have the M23, which is a proxy organization of the Rwandese Defense Forces that is conducting military illegally operation on the Congolese soil. So it's a war of aggression that has displaced millions of Congolese. And this is known by the international community. This is known by everyone, but unfortunately actions are not being taken. And the Congolese government has been ineffective. They just have condemnation declaration, but overall what they are doing has a total deficiency of pragmatism. They are not doing something substantial to protect civilians. They are not doing something substantial to actually support kids that have been left out of school. If you look at the conditions of kids in the refugee camps, it's horrible. Kids are living under horrible conditions. Most of them are now facing diseases, and it's a catastrophe that is happening to these kids. They are living hell on the face of the earth, and yet no one seems to care. We all expect solutions to come from international partners, international organizations, and that's not a responsible behavior from the Congolese government. They should be more responsible toward these kids, because this is the future of the country. The Congolese young people who are left out of school right now because of insecurity are the future of the country. Imagine the trauma these kids have experienced throughout the years, and they continue to experience even in the IDP camps, where they have no whatsoever support from the government. It's just horrible.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Gedeon, for that. Now, Amani, where does the international community come in all of this, and how can they support the affected schools and students and teachers in the pursuit of education for DR Congo?
Yeah, I think that they are trying to support them, support our army, but it's not easy for them because they don't have time, they don't have all plans. Because when we are talking about children, we are talking about the future, and we are talking about the future for the country. So for them, they don't have the plan right now to educate it right now, because we are running to the elections. So they have to have some strategies to don't allow that catastrophe that is happening in our country. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to make that strategy to help that children, because they are crossing they, they I don't know how to say it, but they are facing a bad situation. So the the international community have to be area because they are facing diseases, they are facing many things that they are innocent for that thing. I don't know why they are infliged to do that because they are so kids. Many kids. We last time we hear about that 12 of them were killed. So how can be quiet when children are maltrusted? I don't know, but
Right.
I don't know how. Okay.
Yeah, I do get your point. Thank you for that as well, Amani. Now, Sammy, what would you say would be the long-term consequences that can arise from the prolonged closure of schools, especially for the children's intellectual and social development? We do understand that it's not so safe right now, especially for the students and the teachers themselves because of the attacks. But what are the consequences that might arise if the school closure prolongs?
Is that we will see our children from these villages. They will move. They will move to somewhere where they can be safe, in some camps here in Goma. And also, if they don't study, we know the first thing is that they can have so much trauma, and this can be bad for each one of us in the country. So that maybe tomorrow these children that we didn't protect, that we didn't allow them to go to school, can become also the members of this armed group. We have this experience. Many people who are in the members of soldiers in these armed groups are from our country, are from these villages, are those people who didn't go to school, those people who the government didn't give all that they need so that they can go to school. So this can be the consequences that we can face, and also we can face a situation of if our children don't go to school. As I said, we can face a situation of, as we say, that the children are the future of our country, and we can't say that our country can be developed tomorrow if we don't we don't have many, we don't put something in education, we don't put our mind in education. I think this situation is, the government has to see what to do. But the thing that I can see these days is that their ideas, their thoughts is most focused on the elections that will take place in 1 month. So they are not really concerned. I can say they are not really concerned about these kind of situations. They are
Right.
more concerned in the elections. That's I can say.
All right, thank you so much for that, Sammy. Now, finally, Gedeon, how would you say, or how would you rate the level of safety now for schools? Because some people are saying that, schools should reopen, the government is guaranteeing safety, but others are saying it's best that the schools are closed because the safety of the communities are not guaranteed at this point. So what would you say to that effect?
I think that depends with the region affected by the conflict. In certain regions, school can overall be open because they have this safety mechanism, and in other regions, it's the conditions are worse to be able to open school for the kids to study. So it depends overall with the region. And the region where conflict is happening. For instance, you cannot open school in the battlefield of Kanyaruchinya, Masisi, and so on. The tensions are higher there. The massive displacement. I don't think any kids can go to school in those areas. But in Ituri, in some places where school receive terrorist attack from the ADF, we should just reinforce security in the school facilities. Whenever children are in school, they need to be secured, to create a security mechanism around schools and public facilities so that kids can attend school without fear and trauma. I think that's required as well a pragmatic planification from the government and responsibility from them. And that's what we're just requesting. They just need to be responsible and take into consideration the future of these kids, because these are the future of the country. And if these kids are being traumatized, and losing them has a significant cost on the future of that region and the future of the overall country in general.
Right. All right. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, gentlemen. Sammy Mwanza, Finance and Project Assistant at Impunity Watch DR Congo. Thank you so much for joining us. Amani Lushule Josui, Public Affairs Analyst in Goma. Thank you as well. And Gedeon Baleke, Political Analyst, Toronto. Thank you so much for your time with us on the show.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.